If you grew up a baby boomer in the 60s and 70s, you ought to recognize this big old bucket of bolts. It had the moniker Hanoi Taxi, uh, and if that don't jog your memory, how about or how often did you hear on the news, especially during Vietnam? C-141 personnel carrier, a C-141 military equipment carrier. This is C-141, used during the Vietnam War, and it became a military personnel carrier that carried the first POWs from Vietnam home at the end of the war. Um, if you are my age, you remember sitting in front of the television set day after day after day, with my mother, who had no problems at all with her soaps being interrupted. Watching the boys come back from Vietnam was a hell of a lot more important than the bachelors on the guiding light. Every afternoon, not this plane, but this was the first of the personnel carriers that would bring POWs back from Vietnam to the States. It's been modified, of course, through the years, over and over again. It's one of those flying things that just, whatever we need, we can we can modify it and make room for, there's the berth there. There you go. So it was a sort of a jack of all trades for the military then. And in time, it's been upgraded from C-141 to a C-141B, C-141C, and everything was sort of updated and modified as time went on. Probably because they couldn't really get rid of it. It was so reliable and dependable, if I remember correctly. But they have a great photograph of the first POWs sitting in the seats, smiling and waving, clearing Hanoi airspace and headed home. Autographs of the flight crew there. The laboratory. Signed probably over and over and over again by whatever rescue was necessitated, I'm sure. And there's the cockpit there. Okay. It's it's part of course, the upgrades with the you know avionics and good stuff like that. But yeah, it's the C-141, and ironically, it flew in 2004. Was it? Did I read? One of its last flights was to bring home remains of POWs from Vietnam.